Today we are actually going to be going over which is the fastest car in the game. Now, a lot of people actually are thinking that, you know, it'd be a drag car because these things top out at just ridiculous speeds. They're not really saying they're not the fastest car in the game. This actually is, and it's the Koenigsegg Agera R. From factory, it has 273 miles per hour as a top speed and 1140 base horsepower. So this is what we're going to be testing out today and just seeing just how good, you know, a top speed car, like the fastest car like this thing is. So it cost about 700,000 bucks. So gonna deplete funds a little bit, but it's nothing that we cannot get back. So all right, let's see how this thing sounds. So it sounds aggressive, ridiculous right off the bat. You can light the tires up fairly easy, as you probably expect with 1100 horsepower. It's got a good slide to it, but let's just go ahead and see what this thing will do just on its own stock, because again, that's the biggest thing. I uploaded the video just talking about the Agera and how I think it's the best car in the game, and everyone was like, no, the Agera is definitely much better, just because of the, you know, it's faster. It's like, well, it's not the reason why I think the Agera is the best car in the game, but okay, whatever helps you sleep at night. But everybody was talking like, hey, you need to do a video on the Agera. And that's what we're doing today. So sorry if I sound a little bit off in this video too. I think I might be getting sick with something. I'm not really entirely 100% sure, but I definitely feel that way. But backfire on this thing is nice. It definitely handles fairly good, but it does have that big sliding thing. There's really no understeering for the most part. Tight corners on this thing are just a little bit annoying, but that's, again, as you'd expect with these cars. And with so much freaking traffic in this area, there's always somebody that's going to be taking the apex that you want, and so you hit people a lot when you're driving through here. But yeah, for the most part, this thing drives fairly well. Not completely upset about it at all. I think it's actually pretty damn good. I don't know if I would necessarily say that it's better than the Agera yet. I know that it has a higher top speed from the factory by about 20 miles an hour, but I think the acceleration on this thing is a little bit worse than what the Agera is. And I think that's what makes the Agera the best, is just the fact that it accelerates at the speed that it does. So, of course, we have to deal with the crappy weather. Hopefully it doesn't come out too dark on the screen. It's just, again, talked about this multiple times in videos. There's no way on the consoles to actually go ahead and change the brightness settings, so we're stuck with this. But, yeah, this thing is doing fairly well. Like, again, we're 230 miles an hour, no problem at all. So, again, that's impressive. That's very good. But as you'd expect, going like 230, trying to break around a corner like that, isn't going to go work very well. So what I want to do from here on out is I want to take this thing to the salt flats, see what it will do. I want to see what it'll do stock, and then we'll throw some parts on it, do some customization, and go from there. All right, so here we are out in the salt flats, and basically I just want to see what we can hit for a stock top speed. It says 275 miles an hour, so we're going to put that to the test and see if that's what it can do. So let's get this thing on the roll. Let's get that thing spooled up, ready to go. Let's wait for this train to pass us, and then we will take off. Just like that, a little bit of wheel spin, nothing too crazy, but we are off. And by the time we hit the tracks, we're almost doing 100 miles an hour, so that is pretty crazy in its own sense. And we're climbing pretty fast here yet again. 6th gear coming up soon, and then 7th is followed right there after that. So we're about at 230 miles an hour, which is doing pretty good, honestly. We're starting to climb slowly, so let's get some nitrous in there so we can continue that climb. So we're at 257, 258, 260, okay, so definitely faster than the Agera itself. We get this thing up to 275 before we run out of land. We're kind of like peaking right now. We're very slowly climbing. 269, 270 with 271. We're holding 271, so that's good. I want to get it to 275, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough NOS. Oh, come on. 273. Come on. Get me faster. Come on. A little bit faster. 272 is where it's holding, which is, again, just ridiculous. 272 miles an hour is just crazy. And you can't stop this thing worth a damn. I did not expect it to do that fast for what it did, because that was just ridiculous. I was not expecting it to hit to that. I know it says 275 is the top speed for it, but again, everything else is like 225, and it can get to that no problem. But 270, that's an extra 50 miles an hour, which is just crazy. So I think what we need to do now is I think we need to take this thing to the house, get some customization parts on it, see how the damn thing drives when it's got fully, or not fully maxed out, but over a 300 level, and we'll come back from there. All right, so it's time to do some customization on this thing. Let's see what it has for visual parts. So it's got 9 different hoods for us. So the first one has some tiny carbon vents on the side. That one makes them bigger, adds a little hole down there. Completely carbons the hood at that point, which again, I'm not a big fan of the fact that it's not completely carbon. I think if it was completely carbon, we'd go with it. But I think this one is going to work the best with the big vents up on the top. So we'll go with that. We got 4 different bumpers on the front we can add. This one makes it a little bit wide with the canards there, but I think we will go... Does it make it actually any wider at all, or just... Nah, it doesn't really. We'll go with this one with the front splitter on the front. I think that looks good. As well, we have Koenigsegg rims, so we will keep these ones. I think they are probably the nicest ones for the car. We won't mess around with the calipers. Side mirrors, we can have the big ones or the tiny ones. Tiny, more sleek, more aerodynamic. That's what we're going to go with. Side skirts just adds a little hole in the back. Rear fender, I'm guessing this is probably just making the vent bigger on the top, so we'll go ahead and do that. We have some big wings. This one actually is kind of cool because it kind of like dips around a little bit. Kind of goes to the body, but I think this is the stock one, so it does go like that again, but we'll go with this one. Just, we need solid downforce on this thing. We have 12 rear bumpers to go through. I think the more carbon fiber is probably the best. That's what it has stock, is a ton of carbon. So it just basically removes some lines, or actually let's go with a painted bumper instead. I think this thing actually looks pretty damn good, so we're gonna go with that there. Interior color, we will keep that the way that it is for right now because I haven't decided what we're gonna make this car look like on the outside yet, so that is fine. So we'll come back when we figure out a livery to put on the car, or livery, I guess. It depends on where you're from. I've heard both here, so we'll figure that out and we'll be back. So I did decide to go with this teal color, and I think that works really well for a nice accent color on the car. Interior, I think we'll do some blue stitching just to give it that look. Material, all gotta be suede, and the insert stays at the carbon because it's pretty much done up entirely at carbon. So let's get a look at this thing. This thing looks pretty damn beastly. I think it actually turned out fairly nice. I was not expecting it to actually turn out this nice. Got a little bit more customization options than the Regera itself, so that I do like about it. I'm honestly a big fan of these stripes. As much as I'm not a real big fan of this like Tron-esque look, I do like the stripes a lot. I think it adds a nice accent to the car. So that's definitely very important, I think, when you're customizing. If you don't have a good accent, it just doesn't look correct, and this thing does. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the parts on it. We're going to take this thing back out, see how it drives, and then we'll wrap the video up there. So surprisingly, putting all these parts on only increased the top speed by a whole 1 mile an hour. We went from 275 to 276, so I think that's pretty much where this thing tops out at. I've heard the Regera can go faster than that, fully upgraded up to 320. I obviously don't have the parts to get that yet. It's going to require a lot of grinding. But regardless, I do want to see if this thing is any faster on the acceleration now that we have parts on it. So, back to the salt flats, it is. Alright, so we're back in the salt flats now. Let's see. Now, something seems a little bit strange there with just that acceleration. I don't know what it was, but yeah, that was very, like, when I did this, that was super slow for some reason. But if we're doing it straight, it's pretty alright. It's pretty fine. This thing still sounds meaty as all heck. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds vicious. And we're about to find out just what we can hit this thing up to for top speed. So if we can get faster than we did last time, which was like 272 for the most part, we will find that out. But this thing has definitely hit 250 way faster than it did last time. So that is already an improvement right there, which is good. That's definitely very good. So we're about 260. Let's see if we can get this thing up to 270. Come on, Nitrous, do not fail me now. Again, we're kind of like peaking around 270. We're not really gaining a whole lot more. 271. Now we're kind of hitting bumps. Come on, let's get 273. There we go, 273. Can we get faster than that? 274. Come on, 275. There we go with that 276. One more. We're maxing this thing out. We need 1 more mile an hour. Oh, get it. So that was a pretty good run. I would say 276 miles an hour is just ridiculous, honestly. That's crazy. Like, we added a whole 5 miles an hour more than we did without the parts on the thing. So this thing definitely gets up to speed a lot faster than it did just stock, which is definitely good because you want a car that's going to get up to speed and be up to like 100 miles an hour at no time, and that's exactly what this thing does. So let me know in the comment section though down below if you guys would like to see a video basically going over a maxed out Regera versus a maxed out Agera, and we will go over that and just basically be like, well, which is the best car in the game, because meanwhile this car can be faster from stock, and everybody says, oh, it does like 400 miles an hour if you fully upgrade it. It's like, I upgraded it quite a bit, and we only gained an extra mile an hour. So I don't know exactly if I'm going to believe that until I get the parts on the vehicle myself. But this thing does feel pretty damn good. I still like the Regera quite a bit, so I think it's going to be hard for this thing to top that. But if you guys do want to see a video of me basically going and putting them head-to-head with some different tests, then let me know down in the comment section, and we will do that. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today, basically going over the fastest car in the Crew 2. It is the Agera R, by hands down the fastest car in the game. So if you did enjoy the video, definitely be sure to hit that like button. If you're new here to the channel, definitely be sure to hit subscribe and turn on post notifications, because you don't want to miss uploads of this game. We're doing it daily. But other than that, I do hope that you guys enjoy the video, and I will talk to you guys next time.